Carolina at New Orleans. New Orleans was 4.5. We've been hyping up the Carolina Panthers for months on this show. And then you and I, we did a preseason futures version of Convince Me, our show on Sunday mornings live at 11 a.m. Action Network YouTube and in the Action Network app. Me, you, Chris Raybon, Sean Kerner. The Panthers were basically in every segment. Some combination of the Panthers and betting their over win total, whatever it is, was constant. I bet the Panthers at 4.5. I think the Saints are terrible. This is going to be in our contest. Would you like the floor to choose it for any other topical, themed, named bet today?
No, I love this. And I just want the season to start so we can get a good number here. Because this was 5.5, and we talked about it in May. And like you just said, there's some books now showing 3.5, Chad. So this is a pro game. The pros are going to come in on this one. Like, there's so many games across the board. Why would anyone bet this game, right? Like, to me, that's why I love these kind of games where it's just going to be basically pros versus pros. There's some pros that are dug in on the Saints and they think this team could win this division. They're better than people realize. And those other pros like us who we love Carolina. Like, we just, like you said it, we've been talking about, Chris has been talking about it, Brandon Anderson's been talking about it. Like, we like the Panthers this year, and this starts right here. Like, money line round robin. People knew, 3 months ago this was going to be a money line round robin for us. We just love this Panthers team. So looking at the matchups, there are some things the Saints could do to attack this team. Like Chris Olave, if you want to take his prop, his over receiving yards, totally get it. The Panthers might have one of the worst secondaries in all of football. But offensively, I don't know how the Saints are going to be able to stop this Panthers team. I know that sounds weird coming off last year, but
it sounds weird. As soon as you said that,
I know,
but no one has said that about the Panthers.
They're going to be different than what people are used to seeing last year. Like last year, they tried to run a traditional standard offense. Where this year, I think we see a lot more 4 wideout, 5 wideout sets, Chad. Like, this is going to be a team that's going to spread it out, and they're really going to run a West Coast offense. They're going to just dink and dunk on you and cut you 1,000 times. And, to me, this is a team that's still being slept on. Like, this number, I have it at 3. So now it's getting more closer to what it should be. But like Chad just said, I'm looking at a book right now. This is still 4.5. So why would you not go get that 4.5 if you can still get it? Like, this team is not as bad as people perceive, and I don't think they're going to get blown out in this opening week. Me and Chad might be sitting here with dunce hats next Tuesday for loving this Panthers team so much, but it is week 1. We're not going to react to it. This is a divisional game. These things can get a little wonky, but I do feel very confident, comfortable taking this number. And me and Chad might have to lock in our contest today just so we can get a 4.5 on this Panthers number.
Yeah, we will lock in some picks. They won't be our official picks, but these numbers in the contest, favorites.actionnetwork.com, go sign up. It's so much fun. Simon and I can't win the money, but we still want to beat all of you, and we take a lot of pride in where we are finishing in this contest. We will lock in some games today. I'm just going to say it right now. Panthers are my executive decision.
Wow.
Ba-boom! Look, we talked about
we're heavy on the dogs right now. We got to start finding some favorites here.
It's disgusting. Look, we talked about the trends, the non-playoff dogs in week 1 trend. Yeah. We talked about the short dog in week 1. Division underdogs in week 1 since 2014.
Give it to me.
71%, covering the spread by nearly 5 points per game. Okay?
Yep.
All that is great. All of it supports betting the Panthers, even if we weren't higher on the Panthers. And I do think this might be the best time to get value on the Panthers, because if they do win this week, then that's going to change in the weeks going forward. And now this is where we get to bash Dennis Allen, because we hate Dennis Allen. We think Dennis Allen is a horrible, horrible, horrible coach. We cannot figure out why the Saints hired him, what he has brought to the table to keep his job. Okay? In his coaching career, he's 24-46 straight up, worst among all active head coaches. In 5 years and 70 games of coaching, he is 22 games below 500. The only coaches since 2002 realignment to have 70 games or less under their belt and be 22 games below 500. Dennis Allen, Fritz Shermer, Hugh Jackson, Steve Spagnuolo, and Gus Bradley. As a favorite, Dennis Allen, 8-16-1. That includes 1-7-1 as a favorite in his team's first 4 games of the season. And then there's Derek Carr, who, by the way, is ranked 165th of 166 quarterbacks against the spread, ahead of only Matt Ryan since 2014. This is also a game where I feel like the stakes are huge for us. We have been talking about the Panthers so much. It has to be one of our name brand bets. Executive decision, Carolina Panthers.
Don't overreact like Chad, though. If it's just week 1, I'm going to love the Panthers throughout the season. I think I'm with you. It definitely would hurt and be a little bit embarrassed. I think, to me, my biggest game, especially money-wise, deciding factor, it's going to be that Giants-Vikings game. Like, I have so much invested on the Vikings just being bad. That's the kind of game. They lose that game, their win total might drop to 5, 5.5, 4.5. Like, that's a huge game in that Vikings number.